Good morning, everybody, and welcome back. So, today is Monday, and we're going to go ahead and start off with 7.9c. We began this last Friday, so this is going to consist of composite figures, so finding the area of different shapes and then deciding if we are going to add them together or subtract them given the problem. Those of you that are struggling, go ahead and reach out. Literally, it's just find the area of each shape. It's your first step. Find the area of each shape. Then decide if you have to put them together or take away the area of one from the other. And that's just depending on the situation. So if you have two shapes and they make a bigger shape, add it. If you have one shape and you only need to find part of that shape, then just take off whatever you don't need. Alright guys, so let's go ahead and move in to it and let's start working on it. But before we do so, let's go ahead and start with our quote. So our quote for today is going to be that life is a math equation. In order to gain the most, you have to know how to convert the negatives into positives, right? Also, if you're struggling with negative numbers, make sure you Google negative numbers. So adding two negatives gives you a negative, subtracting two negatives, you subtract them and keep the sign of the bigger number. And yeah guys, so that's what we do. Alright guys, so here we go. Alright, so without further ado, let's go ahead and start. So question number 1 says that Terry will replace the tile of the carpet in her apartment. How many total square feet of tile and carpet must Terry purchase in order to refloor her apartment? Alright, so here we notice that we essentially have well, we could technically have 3 different shapes, but we'll keep it simple. We'll just count it as 2 different shapes, being the carpet and the tile. How you separate this shape is completely up to you. I personally, for this equation, would find the area of the whole thing. So that includes the carpet, the tile, and that white space. And then subtract just the blank space, which is the part that's white. So that, I think, would be the easiest way. I know another way is you can simply find the area of just the carpet, then find the area of just the tile and add them together. Essentially, you're working with quadrilaterals, so all of them are just going to be base times height. So however you decide to solve it, that's completely up to you. That's the beauty about composite figures. There's usually multiple ways, just depends how you separate it, but essentially you should always get the same answer. So like I said, what I'm going to do is I'm going to find the area of the whole thing and then subtract the space that is blank, which is that white space right there, so I can get the area of the tile and carpet put together. Alright, so in order to get the total area, once again, it's a rectangle, so I need to do base times height. So for base times height, that's going to be the total area. And then I need to find the area of the blank space. So the blank space, once again, is also another rectangle. So I would use the same equation, base times height. Alright, and then, so now I just need to fill in my values. That's always going to be my second step. So in this context, we need to find the values and determine if we're going to add them or subtract them. As I aforementioned, we're going to subtract. So I'm going to have to take my area of the large rectangle first. So I have an area of 26 by 38 and a half. So I have an area of 26 by 38 and a half. All right. I'm going to find that area first. So when I multiply 26 times 38 and a half, I'm going to get 1001. And those are going to always be feet squared. And then now I have to find the area of that blank space. So to find that area, I have to notice that the base of that blank space is 11. Okay, so I have an 11-foot distance for a base. Now for the height, it doesn't tell me, but if I look at the left side of the diagram, it's 26. So that gives me a total of 26, but on the right side, notice that the piece that it does measure up to is 13. So it's whatever's left. So 26 minus the 13 will give me the length. So my base is 11. My height is the 26 minus the 13, which is also going to be 13. So I have 11 feet by 13 feet, which gives me 143 feet. Now I need to subtract them. So I set it up to be the area total, which is 1001, minus the 143, which is the blank space, and that will tell me how much tile and how much carpet I'm going to need. And that gives me 858. Okay, if you have any questions, let me know. That's how you solve number 4. Okay, so now I move on to number 5. So now we have Mr. Clark built a deck around the swimming pool and sandbox in the backyard. What is the area of the decking surrounding the pool and sandbox? Round your answer to the 10th of a square foot. Alright, so essentially for this one, you're going to have a parallelogram, which is all the deck. So the whole deck area, the total would be a parallelogram, which is base times height. And then we need to subtract the area for the sandbox, which is a triangle, base times height divided by 2, and subtract the area of the swimming pool, which is oddly enough a rectangle. Okay, so you have to know the equations for all three. So area of a deck, which is the parallelogram, is base times height. Area of the pool is going to be the base times height again, because it's a rectangle. And the area of the sandbox is base times height divided by 2, because it is a triangle, and remember, triangles are half of rectangles. Okay. So now I have to determine, am I going to add them or subtract them, given all this information. And for this one specifically, we're going to subtract the total of the pool and the sandbox put together. So first I would have to find the area of all three, add together the pool and the sandbox, and then subtract that total from the deck. So we're going to subtract and add here. Don't forget your parentheses, these go together, and we'll work them up. So area of my deck is going to be base times height. So I have a 50 by 35, which gives me a 1750. The area of the pool is base times height again, which is 20 by 25, which is going to give me 500. And I already solved for the sandbox, which was base times height. So it's a 7 times 21.5 divided by 2. So it's going to be 150.5 over 2, which is 75.25. So remember, the first thing you have to do is add together the pool and the sandbox. So if you take 500 plus 75.25, you're going to get 575.25. Okay, so don't forget that's going to be your first step. Okay. So there we go. Area minus 500 plus 75.25, which gives me 575.25, and that's going to give me a total of area being 1174.75. Okay, so that's the way you solve number 5. And I put there subtract area of trapezoid, but technically it's not a trapezoid. I called it a trapezoid, but it's not a trapezoid. Well, I don't even know what it is. It would just be like the rectangle and the triangle put together. I just put some random word, but yeah. So that's it, guys. I mean, if you have any questions, let me know. Essentially, this whole lesson is just find the area of everything, find out if you added it or subtracted from another. That's it. Like, that's literally all you have to do. I'm gonna go ahead and take the liberty of uploading the equation, the 7th grade star equation chart, so you can have all the equations for area. But yeah, I would recommend you commit them to memory, because you will be using area formulas here on out for the rest of your academics. So yeah, guys, so other than that, that was 4 and 5. Your work for today is to complete questions 1 through 3. Show me all your work. Make sure you get it to me. If you have any questions, let me know, and good luck, guys. All right, love each and every one of you, and call me if you need anything. Bye bye.